Greetings, Dungeon Delvers, to Season 3 of A Tale D20 presents Descent into the Void, where 6 friends join together to tell a story of mythic proportion. Let's remove the bookmark and continue our epic tale. Last season, Liberators, you accepted a quest from Queen Camilla of Shiveren to deliver a letter to King Terminus of Thelos in order to save her kingdom from the insurrection led by Hiei, the current daimyo of Frostmoor, and his demon dancer army. All players, though, in the sinister Doramo's game. You took her ship, known as the Ice Crown, down the Sapphire Shore into Thelos. During the journey, King underwent a transformation within by meeting with Myliki, discovering he harbored the soul of the goddess, but it came at a cost. The more he used his divine powers, the more his soul would be fused with that of Myliki's, both of them becoming one, a new entity. Monako began the steps of the Burning Hands plan, which was revealed to be that he wished to inhabit King's body and be with Monako in the mortal realm. Arriving at Beachbell, you all met with Captain Merrick Tybalt, a Unity Knight, and discovered that demons were running amok more than ever, and the undead was rising, attacking cities. Cal received a mystical rifle from him, discovering that his father created more holy relics given to captains of the Unity Knights of Thelos, and King tapped into his new unicorn horn staff that transformed from Chastafol to what is now known as Caliburn. Making your way to Thelos, the arcane capital, you discover Horatio was a member of the Corporus Arcana, a powerful mage guild within the multiplanes, and that their Dusthaven leaders, Alara and Judean Sunfell, wanted to use Horatio in their own secret plans, forcing Horatio to capture his mother, who is now considered a traitor. King and Duran met hidden elves and fey creatures within Thelos and were joined together in a marriage, a bond that also aided in King's affliction, slowing down the unification process at a cost, Duran's lifespan. Cal discovered more followers of Kelimvor by the name of the Heirs of Equipoise and discovered that he was something known as the Mortal Key, able to unlock doorways and possibilities. He was made by Kelimvor, the Prolepsy god, who ripped his own soul apart and created himself an Aegis counterpart known as Hades. This forever closed the doorway between the worlds of man and the gods, but it could be unlocked with the power of the Mortal Key. To make matters worse, the Bloodline, a rival guild of vampire assassins, also wanted the Mortal Key, and when Cal met them, discovered that their leader, Drusilla Lenar, was tied to Cal's lost past. She revealed the vampires wanted to leave this plane and return to the land of darkness in the void below. Horatio unlocked new powers after joining the Corporus, and Monako learned of a way to defeat the Burning Hand once and for all, keeping her powers in the process. The group met with King Terminus, making friends along the way, and defended the city against the undead Scourge and Doramo's forces. Blowing up the Corporus Arcana, traveling through space and time, King Duran saw a grim future where Doramo became something known as Tartarus, and Hiei ruled Dusthaven with an iron fist. Monako and Horatio traveled to the distant past, finding the Aegis and creating the very event that caused their existence as gods. And Cal traveled to Eustacia, the land of the gods, meeting with Nyx and the Morai, the Fates, releasing an unspeakable evil in order to save his friends. Back in your current time, you saved the city, defeated Deja Vu, Doramo's minion, but at a high cost. Duran had lost his memories. His very soul was shattered into pieces, lost within the ley lines of magic throughout the void. With his mind now throughout the multiplane, Duran had reverted back to his old Valkyrie ways, breaking the bond between him and King. Monako revealed her secrets, and King was visited by the Burning Hand himself. A new dynamic was formed within the Liberators as you all set off to defeat the Lich that plagued Thelos and save Fia from the control of Hiei. With Julian and the Unity Knights, you traveled to Rainbow Ridge, which had been transformed into a large cavern with swarms of undead guarding its perimeter. Sneaking in, you faced off against the Lich and his minions, and his power of reality bending, and after a long battle, bested the dark entity. Searching for its phylactery, Cal and Horatio, after touching a statue to the god Hades, warped to a dark realm. There they found this lantern that harbored the soul of the Lich, but was confronted by the powerful god Hades himself, admitting that Cal had released him and his Lich forces when he had opened the box that the Morai gave him in Eustacia. Proclaiming himself more powerful than Eros and Erebus, he shifted the way, and Cal and Horatio returned to the group. After performing a ritual, the Lich and his phylactery was finally destroyed and laid to rest, and the cave came crashing down into rubble and ash. With some magical cursed loot in hand, you all headed off with the Unity Knights to Beachbell to take the Ice Crown down to Shimmer Drift Watch to meet with King Terminus and plan your assault. So, Liberators, as you all riding on your mystical unicorns and the Unity Knights on their war horses, you travel for days, making your way without any trouble, luckily. There's some sneaking here and there, but you were able to bypass any types of troubles along the way before looking off into the distance in the wee hours of the morning as Julian puts up his hand, halting all of you as you stop your horses and your unicorns. He hops off of his mount and walks up a large hill, peeking over the crest. You see him move his hand in a strange somatic formation before waving it over his eyes and them both glowing this white light. After a moment, he peeks, gets down on his stomach, looking all over the hill, and just stares for a moment. What do you all do next?
What's he doing?
Guess he's checking to see if it's been sieged or overrun. Must be taking some form of precaution.
I will find out myself. Duran's gonna approach him.
Okay. You go up behind Julian. He gets up and turns around once he notices your presence and says, Duran, I'm just looking over to make sure that there's no dangers on the horizon. There's Beachbell, the shore city. You said your ship was here, correct?
Yes. He said it in the care of people there to watch for us.
Good. Then we should make our way. It's only about a few hours on horseback.
What are we waiting for?
He gets up, dusts himself off. You hear the clanging of his armor. There's no time like the present. If you all rested and ready, we can head off right now.
Duran nods, and with that, he just turns back. And do we still have our unicorns out? Are we still, riding them actively?
Mm-hmm.
Duran's going to hop on his unicorn and signal with his hand to everyone that it's time to get moving.
The faster we get to Beachbell, the better.
All right. If there's nothing else you wish to do, the Unity Knights get back on horseback. Julian looks on over to you, gives you guys a nod, and continues heading down the hill, passing by some trees, as you can all visibly see Beachbell as you recognize it off into the distance.
Does anything look off? Does it look all right?
Roll me a perception check.
Maliki, give me sight beyond sight. I'd like to guide myself as I look off in the distance. First roll of season 3, natural 20 for a 22.
Okay, so 22. You look around. And you are using, and you have a good vantage point as high as you are, so you're kind of looking down at Beachbell, seeing the sapphire shore off into the distance as it glitters, with the dust, sky, the light that's from there. Looking to your left and your right, you do see there are demons that are well off into the distance. They won't look like there'll be any trouble to you. Plus you have, humming around you, the sphere of heaven's dew. There is a pathway eventually, though you are off the beaten path, that it seems that Julian is heading towards. And no trouble looks afoot. Beachbell looks normal. Just as the same as you left it.
I will, speak out to the group around me and say, I think it looks clear. We're almost there.
We should continue.
Right.
Alrighty. So, with no trouble at all, a couple hours pass until eventually you get to the exterior of the, I would say a big city. Nowhere near as big as Thelos as the Arcane capital. But you all remember Beachbell. It's more of a shore city with a dock, off into the end. You can hear from, as you enter in the stone road that leads up towards the gateway of Beachbell. You can hear the cling, cling, cling of bells of the harbor off into the distance. It's early morning, but not too early where people wouldn't be about. Probably around 9 o'clock in the morning. As you can hear that the city is busy. There are very few, though there are mages who are flying up in the sky. Most people are walking, as you remember, of Beachbell. Of course, there is an entryway, and it seems to be a little bit more guarded than it was before when you first came here about 10 days ago. And as you walk up, there are guards who come to the front of the gate, of the tall gate that other people are passing through. But immediately in looking at Julian, before they say anything, they just part and say nothing, letting you walk in as a small procession, following Julian and the rest of the Unity Knights until you reach the interior of Beachbell. He stops as you all enter in the gate, he stops, turns his horse around to talk to the entirety of the group. Everyone, we're going to follow the Liberators from here on out. They have a ship that can accommodate all of us, and we're going to take that to Shimmer Drift. There we're going to meet with King Terminus. Should take us about, possibly if the winds are on our side, maybe a day to get down to Shimmer Drift. So do the things you need to do now to prepare. But first, Liberators, if you don't mind taking the lead. And he steps back into the group, waiting for one of you guys to step forward and start leading the pack.
Let's get to the docks then, right?
We're going straight to the ship, correct?
That makes the most sense to me. I think Merrick should still be around the docks, and from there, our ship has been paid for at least the 2 weeks. So we should be fine. But we can check with him if anything's happened.
Should we gather supplies, or did we leave it well kept?
I think our payment for our docking fees included
food stocks and rations and such.
Yeah, but we can double check with Merrick when we get there.
Julian, did your men bring rations?
Julian turns over to you. Yes, we have adequate sustenance, so you don't have to worry about us. We are trained to go on missions for a 10-day or more without any food. We can handle ourselves. Plus, we have those who can use spells that can give us food if needed. He says, looking over to one of the other Unity Knights.
Good. We need to know all of your knights' combat capabilities as well for what we're going into.
My men and women can fight very well on their own. They were able to survive in there, were they not? Defeating those other undead minions. They are mostly paladins. We have some cross-trainers who train in both the paladin arts as well as the clerical arts. And then, of course, we have a cleric as well.
How many Unity Knights are there?
There are 6.
Okay, so we probably... Would we have room for their 6 horses as well?
Oh yeah, the Ice Crown's big.
Okay.
But who's going to clean up after those horses, right? I think we should just...
One of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So then coming back, Cal, if it's paid for in the rent, then I guess the best bet is to just head to the docks. We could always stop by Tiny's to see if they have any new clothing, but I feel like we're in a hurry.
I agree. Where we're going, fashion isn't our number one priority.
They also have quite, utility clothes too, but I agree.
I mean, we still have our winter clothing in the portable hold, do we not?
Yes, we do, actually. I'll get that out when we head to Shiveren.
Alright. Let's head to the ship, then.
Alright. So who's taking lead, or are you just all going to go in a line?
I'll take lead since I have a relationship with Merrick.
Alright. So, Cal, you go ahead in front of the group leading the Liberators and the Unity Knights down the roads of Beachbell. Before, people kind of didn't pay you mind. You were walking, and, well, no, people did stare at you because of the tieflings who are in your group, and the elves as well. But even more so now, you're pulling attention as it's a procession of
unicorns
and war horses of the Unity Knights that are here, as people are wondering what's going on. Julian doesn't say anything to them. He does nod and is very respectful for the people who are looking on. Some are a lot of shock and awe in a lot of the people who are here, as they're not just wizards and before, these are just normal people who live here. A lot of the passerbys in the sky look down as well and give you all waves as they feel like you're someone important. But eventually you hear the first thing that you experience is the smell of the sea as it wafts over your noses, the salty disposition of it tickling your noses, until eventually off into the distance you can hear the clanging of bells and the sound, or you can hear more loudly the clanging of bells and the sound of people working throughout the dock area, realizing you're once again back in the docks of Beachbell. There are several ships that are docked here, even more so than you saw before. Possibly for several number of reasons. Someone could have returned, maybe King Terminus called them, but there does seem to be a lot more activity here than last you remember it. And eventually you lead them, Cal, into the middle of the dock area, turning left until you see the same 2-story building with the ship's wheel on it, knowing that this is the area that Merrick Tybolt, his office is, of the Harbor Master.
When we make it to the docks, I'll brain chat everyone, and I'll say, brace yourselves, and after a moment I will recall Caliburn into its staff form.
Okay. You go ahead and everyone stops for a moment. Caliburn once again goes into this magical blob-like form before fusing back together into one, becoming the unicorn spear, as the rest of you are on the ground. The Unity Knights are still on their seeing that you get off of their horses as well, it seems, out of respect, and start to walk them by their reins.
And I will go into the 2-story building where Merrick's office is supposed to be.
All right, so you walk into the Harbor Master building in there. As you walk in, it's the same long room with many different paintings and pictures and weapons on the wall. At the far end, you see the desk with a very noticeable missing ornament that was on the wall there in the shape of the rifle, as you know. You see sitting at the desk, looking through some paperwork, is Merrick Tybolt, as well as 2 other dock hands as they're just chatting and going over some things. This a minute, I'm finishing something up. And he just continues going.
Whenever you do have a moment, Merrick. Because I imagine he's like not looking up, he's just like deep into his papers.
Exactly. He looks down at his paper, shakes his head for a moment, looks up, as the human gentleman. You remember, he's an elderly gentleman, though he does look like he's seen many battles in his day with his eye patch. As he walks on over, you hear the hobbling of his wooden leg until he says, "Oh, it's good to see you again," he says, looking over at all of you. "Oh, is that you, Julian?" Julian steps forward and says, "Master Merrick, it's good to see you alive and well." "Aye, that I be. What brings you back here to Beachbell? Here to pick up the Ice Crown?"
"That's right. We have to get ourselves down the coast a little bit further. Things are happening."
I knew I felt an itch in me leg. I was wondering why you would be with a Unity Knight. Come along, come in. Close the door behind you. We can talk within. You two, leave." And you see the 2 dock hands get up, still look over you, give you a little nod, and walk out the door behind you, closing it. "So, what's been going on? I feel there's troubled waters afoot."
Well, we finally got to speak with King Terminus, and after a number of chaotic things broke out, we were able to save Thelos from an attack, help fend off thousands of undead swarming the city, and then we went to Rainbow Ridge, got rid of the lich problem there. I remember you said the road was going to be dangerous. You didn't tell us quite how dangerous. But we handled it. Especially with your friend Julian's help here.
Julian's quite the warrior. I remember back in my day, when you first picked up your first sword, and he seems to go on for a moment, for a tale that goes on for a little bit too long, and Julian goes, Master Tybalt, please. Right. In any case. Well, I'm glad to see you were able to handle that. I'm sure your father will be proud, Cal. He says, walk on over to you, putting his hand on your shoulder.
Thank you. That means a lot.
So, well, it sounds like you have an adventure waiting for you. But I feel the fate of Duskhaven is in good hands, Yar. Come, the ice crown's right over here. Follow me. We kept it in tip-top shape. Even made sure everything was furnished for you.
Appreciated. It's important because we'll be needing to leave as soon as possible to get to Shimmerdrift.
Right. Follow me. And he goes and steps on over, opening up the door, passing all of you and your horses, and walks further down into the dock.
I follow.
All right. So the rest of you all follow Merrick Tybalt going down the dock, and there's many different shops and selling different types of seafood and other things as you have tried before last time you were here, until eventually passing magnificent looking ship after magnificent looking ship, until you get to one area where we're just completely blank. Looking down at the waters, it does seem to be hitting something, until after a brief light flashes for a moment, and you see the exterior of the almost invisible ice-crowned ship as it glimmers. Staring at it, or actually noticing it for the first time, Julian had his mouth isn't agape, but you can tell he's kind of in a trance, very impressed by it. Is this your ship?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, on loan from the Queen.
This is the Ice Crown. It's beautiful. I've heard tales. Is it as powerful as they say it is?
I don't think we've come close to unlocking its full power, but we did get a taste on our way here.
I heard that Master Galilia designed this. I've dreamed of riding on this, one of his greatest creations. Thank you. And he sounds extremely sincere, very vulnerable, more so than he has been with you guys during this journey. But Merrick goes, it's a beauty, that it is. I personally worked on it. Marvelous what Galilia can create. He was a very amazing warrior and artificer, Yar. Well, let's go, he says, walking onto an invisible plank. That seems but unique. And at a moment, you do notice he's stepping on some type of surface, going up onto the deck of the Ice Crown.
I carefully follow behind, not necessarily trusting this translucent gangplank.
Out of curiosity, is it an illusion or transfiguration magic that's obscuring it? Now that Minako's returned with her witch sight, I imagine she's marveling at the beautiful craftsmanship of something that everyone seems to not be able to see except for her.
It is illusion magic, so you can clearly see the Ice Crown, yes.
It's more beautiful this time.
Yeah, you can see the intricacy of how the magic works with the illusion, how it not only casts an illusion on the Ice Crown itself, but the area around it. You see actually roll me Arcana check.
A 17.
17, very nice. You see the intricacies of how the spell is built in a way. You're not sure how it was built and the incantations and things that were used, but you see how the Ice Crown is emanating magic and almost casting the spell itself constantly, from its power source deep within, and how it just shapes and bends the area around it as like the magic just swirls and affects it, like as if it itself is casting a spell over and over again. The magical swirls its somatic components.
Galilia's workmanship. It's incredible. Just like those guns of yours, Cal.
Yeah. It must have taken forever to get just right.
You must be so proud to carry those weapons.
It's the only way I know how to keep him around, you know?
Yeah, I think so.
You don't need the weapons to make sure he's around, Cal. He's in your heart and with you every minute of every day, whether you have those weapons on you or not.
You're right. I don't know. I feel like...
comforted and a connection with them.
I feel like I'm continuing his work and honoring him. Yes.
Yes. Jinx, you owe me a soda.
How about a healing potion?
I want a Fia Pop. How about that? You can get me something nice, cool, refreshing once we've saved the city.
I like the sound of that.
Sir Tybalt, is the kitchen stocked?
Aye, that it is, he says. At this point, you all have walked onto the ship's deck, and so has the rest of the Unity Knights, who are totally freaked out, by the way, by this. Even the horses are and they're like strong, tamed, trained horses, seem to be a little worried.
Horatio, can you put down the illusion for the animals until we get them in the cargo hold?
Yeah, absolutely.
And can you remember to reset my room, and maybe for the other Unity Knights too? I don't like the glass bottom. Make it a solid room for us, please. I'm gonna put them in rooms 6, 5, and 4, and I'm gonna be in 1 like usual.
I'll take care of it now.
Come on, guys, and I'll lead the Unity Knights to their rooms.
Horatio goes to remove the illusion.
Okay. So, King, you lead the rest of the Unity Knights as they're stepping on air, it seems like, and then you yourself are a little like, and
it makes me queasy. Don't worry, he's gonna fix it. I promise.
As you run quickly down towards the power.
I didn't say quickly. I take my time.
Oh, okay. As you take your sweet time.
I'm kidding. I make my way down with haste.
Any minute now, guys. Don't worry. I promise.
But Horatio, you make it down into the ship's core power room with your keen mind is still within the 30-day limit. You still remember exactly how to operate the ship itself and turning knobs, and you see that the power source that has been actually, the power source is still that you had pumped into it again, like all those many 10 days ago. It's still there. Looks like Merrick has kept it going, or it just never lost its power. But so you were easily able to work the machinations of the Ice Crown until eventually everyone on the ship, outside the ship, it's still protected with the illusion, but on the ship it becomes solid, looking more ship-like with a wooden deck. Nothing's being see-through, though you can adjust each room individually as you remember to see how you would like. And so you notice that it has been changed.
I would have made sure that everyone's rooms whom I noticed felt a little weird by the illusion, I would make sure that their rooms are adjusted and look like normal rooms. And then I would also like to grab the manual again and just give it a once look over to kind of refresh that information.
Okay. So you spend some time reading the manual. As King, you lead them down, and there's like a cargo hold area where they can place the horses. It's as you walk down the steps, you hear the click, clack, 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 clack of the horses going down the stairs. It's a tight squeeze. It wasn't that. I mean, it's big, but it wasn't like that big where it was expecting a bunch of horses to come down. But
I'm pretty sure the horses will fit back here, guys. Just single file down the staircase. I know horses don't really like stairs, but just deal. And there's a big room back here. We'll bring in some hay. Isn't it so much better now that the floor's solid, right?
Yeah, one of them says, as the horses calm down. But eventually, you take them back to go down the stairs a couple flights. You take them back to that room, and they tie up their horses. In their bags, they seem to have some food and feed for the horses, and placing it over their faces, the horses begin to eat.
I'll open any nautical windows, to make sure there's some fresh air coming in down there.
Well, there's no windows because you're below the hull, so.
Oh. And I'll make sure they feel comfortable before leaving.
Okay. Roll me an animal handling check.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna lucky that.
So for the audience, what was that number?
that natural 1, I would like to lucky because I don't want to be bit by a horse.
Bit, you was gonna get kicked with that one.
Or don't kick.
You're gonna get kicked like off the boat.
Okay, I'll take a 9.
A 9. Okay, you go ahead and try to use your magic and your words to calm down the.
It's all right.
And the horses just kind of brush, hit you, not liking your touch onto them. And you just put your head back as you're afraid that you're gonna get back kicked, but the horse does not.
Okay, I got something to do. You guys got this?
We're fine. Where are the rooms?
Right up here. We walked past them, actually. So, the 3 doors on the right, on the floor, right above this one, those are for you guys.
Thanks. We can find our way. Thank you.
There's the numbers 4, 5, and 6 are your rooms.
Thank you. And they go ahead and start brushing their horses and so on and so forth.
I'd like to go to the top deck and to the back of the boat. I have something I want to do.
Okay. What would you like to do as you make your way up there?
Well, we don't have to do it right now. Just like when we're getting ready to leave, I want to...
Okay. Duly noted.
I'm going to prepare a spell.
Okay. So, as you all find your rooms...
Oh, before we get onto the boat, Duran is going to spend a moment looking around before they leave. Just, if we can, do a few perception check. And especially looking to see if since we dealt with the bloodblend before, if there are any kind of weird thieves' cants markings or warnings around where their boat was, like someone may have marked something if someone else had been here since they've been here.
Yeah, roll me a perception check.
25.
25, okay. So you look around before being the last one to enter onto the ship. You look around the area, and you've been keeping an eye out generally as you've made your way there. You do notice, carved into one of the support beams on one of the piers, there seemed to be some type of scribble. It's not really noticeable, but with your keen eyes, you do see it. Looking down, you notice that there is a thieves' cant written there, and it seems to be what was written there is a message to what seems to be another group, not like a guild, or maybe like a thieves group of some kind or band of people, saying that key areas to strike for the most amount of money, and there are several positions laid out in Beachbell where they could go and run a heist. It seems like that's kind of carved in here.
Duran is going to try to make has any paper from his pack and try to make like a imprint on a piece of paper and take it with him as he gets back onto the ship.
Okay. You go ahead and take out your calligraphy tools and make an imprint of it, having it brushed down onto your parchment, rolling it up. You keep it, and you can write down your inventory. You have Beachbell Thieves' Cant message. You're not sure how old it's been here, how long it's been there, but something that has been placed there.
Minako would like to go to the kitchen and prepare an elaborate 12-person meal, because when they said they were going to be eating rations, that seemed a little inappropriate. So
All right. You go down to the kitchen. You can easily find it as you know your way around the Ice Crown. In it, there is fully furnished with lots of seafood. As you can see, that is probably the main export, the main dish here in Beachbell, being at the Sapphire Shore. There are, so actually 95% of it is some type of seafood, as well as all other plants and garnishes that you can use. But you can make a good seafood dish with what you have here for many days for many people, like a small army almost.
She will prepare a meal for a small army.
Alrighty. So you
involving
begin
lots of grilling and soups and making fish ready to eat and kind of making some elaborate fresh fish dishes, as well as cooked and more like stew-like dishes.
All right. So you begin. It'll probably take some time to gather everything and work on it for a couple hours. But you begin preparing the meal in the kitchen area of the Ice Crown. Anyone else doing anything specific? As right now, Merrick and Julian seem to have walked to a corner of the ship closer to the aft and are just chatting.
Once I see them have like a break in their conversation, all of my companions have kind of like went off in different directions to show the other Unity Knights where everything is and investigate the dock and everything and make us some delicious food. I want to have a moment to ask Merrick a question or two. So whenever it looks like he's kind of like in a lull in the conversation. Before he leaves the ship, I just wanted to talk to him.
All right. So you go ahead, heading there, see them in conversation. Eventually, it seems they break apart, and Merrick was actually closer towards you. He turns around with his wooden leg and walks on over, sees you there, and says, "Hi, Master Cal. How goes ye?"
It goes well. And I walk over to the wheel as like we're having this conversation, because aft is the back end of the boat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that would kind of be where the wheel is too, I'm guessing. So we walk over to the wheel, and I continue. Master Tybalt, the Queen didn't really give me any clear instructions on what this ship is capable of. You said you worked on it. Did my father work any specific magic into, the speed of this ship? Is there any way to really make it fly?
Fly? You be a dreamer, just like your father. I don't know if it's possible to make this here ship fly, but anything is possible with something made by Galilia.
Well, as I feel like I'm getting like a little bit red-cheeked by my dreaming aspirations. If it can fly on the water, just if there is anything I can do with these, and I like pull out my revolvers. I know that they're a key of some sort, and I know that knowing my father, he probably worked in a way for me to, or for him whenever he was alive, to really make this thing move on the water. Did you ever see him do anything like this when you were on the ship with him?
I know. He built this ship specifically for the Queen of Shiveren. If he planned to do something with, I don't know, he says, and he seems a little like he's trying to figure it out, but if anything, I would look in the control room. That power source is beyond anything I've ever seen before. Perhaps there's some secret there. I'm not one with magic. He made all the gadgets. I just pulled the trigger.
I understand. Oh, Merrick, if only you didn't have to keep things in line here in Beachbell. We could use your experience on this ship, someone who knows it.
Aye, but I'm a harbor master now. That's just a job that was decreed. These old bones cannot sail on the open sea as they once did before. I'll leave it to you youngins. And he says, slapping you on the back, and you just stumble a little bit.
Thanks. It's good to know that, you're putting some faith in us.
Well, I admit, when I first met ye, I was skeptical. But hearing what you accomplished, arriving with Julian, he told me everything in detail. You all are quite powerful indeed. I'm sorry I underestimated you. You did a good service for Thelos. No, all of Duskhaven.
We're not done yet.
Aye, that you're not. Save the Queen. Save us all. The son of Galilia. I know you can do it, You be the best of us.
I think everyone here on this ship is the best of us, and it's going to take all of us. There's dark clouds ahead, Merrick. Keep Beachbell safe.
So, King, as you walk up, you see that Merrick and Cal are in conversation, noticing that, and you start to make your way up there. As Merrick is walking away, noticing King, he turns around and smiles, looking over at Cal, and says, "Ye be the captain of a fine ship, and a captain needs a good hat. Aye." And he takes off his large pirate hat, his large captain's hat that he has onto his head, takes it off, revealing his head, and he has very straggly black hair that seems to have been wrapped up in the hat that falls down, and places it on top of your head, and gives you a nod, and begins walking away, looking at King, walking down the staircase.
It looks good on you, Cal. Captain. And I'll nod to Merrick.
Aye. He gives you a nod and hobbles down the stairs, walking away from the aft.
What I hear about dark clouds?
Just what we saw in Rainbow Ridge, in that Lich's inner sanctum when we were getting the phylactery. I'm worried about Hades.
Yeah.
And I'm worried that it's all my fault that all of this has happened.
It's more than just you. Don't worry. You may have opened the box, but our hands all might as well have been on there with yours.
There was just no other way to save all of you, and I would never sacrifice any of you. It was the only way.
The future that was horrid, Cal. I cannot describe to you how desolate it felt. I will take the decision you made any day, then live through that again. We will prevent that future from happening this way. And don't worry about any clouds. I got that. And I will hold my hands out, and then they will start to warble. And I'll say, I need a few minutes, but we'll have smooth sailing today. And I will start to cast Control Weather, one of my new spells.
Nice.
Okay.
Control Weather lets me, for a 5-mile radius around myself, for up to 8 hours concentration, I can control the precipitation, temperature, and wind. So I will choose to have it light clouds, with a warm breeze that has strong winds that are blowing to the southwest, because that's the direction we're headed. So it's a tailwind helping to propel us in that direction.
Okay. How long does it take to cast this?
It takes 10 minutes to cast.
Okay.
After we have that conversation about clouds, I'll say to Cal, no worries, we'll have smooth sailing at least for today. And I'll start to call forth and channel this energy. And it takes 10 minutes to cast. And then once it's finished, it lasts for 8 hours.
Alrighty. So you begin the ritual and start to move your hands around almost in like a dance-like formation, and start to move your arms up and around, spreading them out and almost following the movements of your hands and your body. The clouds begin to part, and it was cloudy. It was a cloudy day, and there was no wind at all. So by creating this phenomenon, you will definitely increase your speed as the winds begin to pick up around you. There are other ships that are around you as well, and some that are sailing off. And you notice that a lot of them are adjusting their sails as they move. Cal, as you look around, as well as there are a lot of people who are on the docks who are just like, huh? What? As the entire weather in the area shifts from what they originally
Hold on,
predicted.
it slowly picks up. It takes, let me see, it takes 10 minutes for me to cast, and then 10 minutes for it to take effect.
Yeah, okay. It's starting to take effect. It's starting to move around, but definitely like the clouds are moving. The actual weather phenomenon are happening to create this slowly, and all the like everyone whose predictions are set are starting to shift and alter. You see they're running around is like, oh, the winds are shifting. I can feel it in my bones.
Sorry, people. Yeah, but rules is written. It's 1d4 times 10 minutes for it to take effect.
Okay, so go ahead. Did you already roll your d4?
Yeah, so that's that 1d4, so 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Okay.
It'll slowly change, and then after 10 minutes, it'll be heavy winds to the southwest.
Got it.
Heavy warm winds.
Heavy warm winds. Got it. All right. Is there anyone else doing anything?
I don't think I've spent all of this time reading the book. I would have liked to maybe ask Merrick Tybolt a question.
Okay. Merrick, last time you seen Merrick, he was on the deck.
Yeah, so I would have went to find him.
All right. So you go upstairs and you notice there are some of the Union Knights who were just exploring the entirety of the ship as they're walking around. They give you a nod as you nod back and head out, walking up the stairs until finally reaching the deck. As you look around, you see that King is performing some type of ritualistic spell, well as Cal there in the corner, and looking in the middle of the deck, actually to the fore of the ship, the front, is kind of just looking off in the horizon is Merrick Tybolt, his arm resting against one of the edge of the ship.
I would approach him and say, hey, Merrick.
Yes. How can I help ye?
I just had some questions. Have you heard any news of Broken Bay?
Broken Bay and Shiveren?
Yes.
That I have not. We don't get much news from Shiveren these days. Though I heard stories about what's happening in the sea. Strange demons popping up. Some of me sailors who go out there have not returned. I'm assuming it has something to do with everything that's happening in Shiveren and Hiei.
Yeah. And, you've had people not come back. Have you sent anyone for them, or are you just giving up hope?
That we have. We've sent some. But we're not sending everybody out to their doom. I've discussed this already with Julian. He'll keep an eye out to see if he finds anything. I suspect they've been killed or captured by Hiei and his forces of demons. So, before you all head off, I was going to warn ye all, but I'll warn you right now. Beware of what's on the sea, and the weird and scary shores. Demons are amok, and use the stealth ability of the Ice Crown to make your way down to Shimmer Drift. We may be in Thelos, but demons don't care about borders.
All right. Thank you, Merrick.
And he goes back and starts staring off into the sea. Julian also makes his way down. Seeing King and Cal have their conversation, he kind of walks down, heads down to his own quarters, if anyone's looking for him. If not, you all go to your respective areas. While Cal, are you staying there? Well, I'm guessing you're staying at the wheel of the ship and are going to helm it.
Yeah, I'll helm the ship for now. Once we get out into the open water, though, I do want to go down to the control room where this power source is and see if another visit will garner any information from the last time I tried to check it out, knowing more about my father and this boat now.
Okay. So you go ahead as King is still there. The aft area is very large, so there's more than enough space for King to do his spell. As the winds are now starting to pick up, things are starting to blow, and now the sailors are all running around the docks trying to prepare as the weather is changing in a different than their predictions. Until about 10 minutes later, the weather shifts and a southern wind, warm wind blows, light clouds in the skies. King, you complete your ceremonial presentation affecting the weather around you. Merrick looks up, turns over towards you, hobbles back on over and says, that'd be really smart to use the weather in your favor. You're a powerful sorcerer indeed.
I've gained this ability recently to commune and connect with the land, so I felt it would be a wise time to test the capabilities and help us quickly move to our destination.
Well, with this ability, you may make it to Shimmer Drift by nightfall. Well,
thanks for your praise. It means a lot.
Well, I'm heading off. Be safe.
You as well.
I take my new hat off of my head, bowing. Thank you for everything, Master Tybalt. It means the world to us.
He goes, one of these days you'll get my name right. Tybalt. But
Tybalt.
It's quite all right. You know, Galilia said the same thing. You remind me so much of him. You sure you're not his biological son? Well, Liberators, be safe. Protect one another. You have the power all in ye. I know deep in me bones. We're in good hands. And he goes, walks off, walks down the plank, and you see him talk to other ship hands on the dock, and they remove any type of latchings and ropery that's tied to the actual dock until you are 100% free, floating on the ship. Cal, since this is your first time on the helm, you roll me a roll me a perception check.
Perception, I can do that. A 13.
13, okay.
Not the best.
You look, you grab into the helm, and it's a normal, like, the wheel of a ship. Though very ornate, very beautiful, as this is the Ice Crown. Other than that, nothing really seems, I'm well to say you don't notice anything else. Though you're very excited to, I'm assuming, to helm the ship. Though you don't notice anything, unfortunately. But the ship does not move. As you know, to get it going, it has to be started in the engine room.
King, man the wheel for a minute. I'll be right back.
What? Okay.
Am I still outside?
Yeah, you're still out there. You're in earshot of them as well, unless you decide to go back in.
No, I haven't gone back in yet, so I'll say, Cal, I can start the ship.
Let me go with you. I want to take a look at it as well.
All right. And I'll head down towards the engine room.
Okay. So
I cannot guide myself because I'm controlling this weather, so hopefully I don't crash this fucking boat.
You grab onto the helm, unsure, just move your eyes back and forth. And the helm is huge, so it's much bigger than you, as you try to hold on as much as you can, as the two of them walk down into the room. At this point, you're beginning to smell coming throughout the entirety of the interior of the Ice Crown. Very sweet and sultry and spicy smell, a scent of Monaco's cooking. Slightly distracting, but nevertheless you make it towards the ship's core. There, the humming of the spherical power source inside of its cage goes off, connected by pipes and other glass tubings to the machinations of the ship.
I wonder, is it just like a white light in the core, or can you... Okay.
You have to open up kind of like a metal gate to get to the core. And
all right.
Actually, no, it's a glass kind of porthole that you have to open up.
Got it. In the meantime, can I help Horatio like get everything started? And then while we're doing that, I want to take a look at that core and see if there's any way I can maybe use the king's shotgun, the over-under, and I don't know how I can bolster. I want to bolster like divine favor.
So you.
Once Horatio sees Cal pull out the shotgun, what are you trying to kill the engine? Or?
I hope to supercharge it.
Okay. Well, I mean, to power it, you just kind of have to cast magic into it. So, do you want to use the gun as a catalyst to cast that?
Yes, with this shotgun, I can imbue some of my own Kelemvor-based magic. In this case, some divine favor.
DM, do I know of a way to maybe place this shotgun somewhere to have it function as a key itself to bolster it and give it power?
There's no slot for a shotgun there, or any.
Is there slots for like revolvers still?
There's roll me investigation check, Cal.
Okay.
Would it count as me assisting him because I'm also here looking for?
Yeah, you
a
can
slot?
get it. You can get an advantage.
Meanwhile, King is just like holding onto the wheel.
5. You don't see. You looking around. You look following the pipes. Doesn't seem to be any slot for a gun here.
Okay.
I'm the captain.
I kind of like scratch my head under my hat, and I look to Horatio. I thought I'd be able to find something new from all the research I've been doing, but I better get back up to the wheel. King, I don't think was suited for this.
Yeah, I'll power it, and we can get going.
Yeah, see what you can find. My father, he was clever, and it might not be obvious. I just feel like there's something here that I'm missing. And I go back up to the top.
I would like to use a 5th level spell slot to power the engine.
Okay. So, Cal, as you make your way back up, Horatio, you channel your spell slot as you have to do so to power the ship with an additional energy. Now, the ship seems to have already been powered, but you're throwing even more power into it. And the ship will take as much power as you can give it. And doing so, it increases the size of the spherical ball of energy within the porthole as you shoot the energy through the apparatus that you so know how to use. Refreshing when you read the book. The ship seems to make a small jolt forward a little bit as it or just like a small jerk as it gets powered, and everyone kind of holds on. You hear but it's stable again. King, you hold on to the ship, and you're just kind of holding on to it as the ship shoots, jerks slightly.
I'm dry heaving, but when Cal comes up, one hand is on the wheel, and I'm hunched over, dry heaving.
And as you're holding on to it, and Cal, you run up finally, seeing this of King kneeling over, holding on to the wheel.
Oh, you did great, King. Good job. I can take it from here.
Take the wheel, please. I'm gonna run over to the side of the boat and throw up a little bit. This rocking is incessant. I hate it.
Just take a deep breath of the ocean air.
I still have some parsley in my throat.
And Cal, as you go over and take over the wheel, relieving King of his duties, and King, as you go move on over, as when you touch the wheel, once with the intent to move the very thin silk-like mass and sails come down silently, with a puff of air almost as it catches the air, and it begins to quickly move off of the dock area and sail away. Everyone, you see Merrick Tybal off into a distance, just looking on over, giving one final nod as the Ice Crown sails off down the shimmering sapphire shore, making its way down in the direction as you steer it. Roll me a survival check as you are steering the ship. Try an attempt to steer the ship.
18.
Right. There's no navigation in this. Yeah. So, all right. So an 18. So, whereas Horatio, when he first did it, had some issues, but was able just to point it in one direction since he always knows where north is. You, as for the first time driving this boat, seem to be at ease, as in like it's second nature almost, as you're controlling the ship. Turning the wheel, going off, you are able to point it directly in the direction of Shimmerdrift, making your way down the sapphire shore, as within 5 miles of you, the wind is just carrying the ship. With all the power that Horatio has thrusted into it, the ship just glides, like a hot knife through butter. It slides through the ocean, cutting, as the majestic Ice Crown fades in and out of existence, with you and everyone else, you and the ship itself just disappearing off into the horizon. Merrick Tybal taking one last blink as you disappear away from his view, stepping back into his harbor master keep. But nevertheless, you are off in the ship. It will take you about, at this rate you're going with King controlling it, about 8 hours to make it down to Shimmerdrift. As long as you don't run into any issues along the way. Is there anything?
What time of day is it that we set off?
You set off early as well. After the conversations, it was about midday, so about 12. So you'll get there at night. I mean, it will look like the same, but it would be night.
Still dusk-like, but like it would be evening for us.
Yeah.
I would like to keep like a perception out, just to see if I spot anything heeding the warning given to me by Tybalt.
Alrighty. So you are on the deck of the ship towards the front of the ship? Or the back? Are you?
Yeah, I'm in the bow.
Okay.
Perception, right?
Yes, roll me a perception check.
Ooh. I rolled an 18.
18, very good. So as you all set off, you're not too far away from the shore itself. As you're not going into the deep sea to get down to Shimmerdrift, but it's deep enough where you look around. For your first hour that you're looking around, Horatio, doesn't seem to be any issue. It's just kind of blank. There are some sea animals that pop up every so often, almost like sea creatures that you've never seen before. Multi-fin, dolphin-like creatures. Not demonic, just different from what you've seen. As well as some horse-like creatures that are large, but swimming within the waters. So nothing for the first hour. Does anyone want to do anything during the first hour?
After we've left the harbor and on the open sea, and it seems like we're cutting through the water more smoothly, I think my sickness has calmed down enough where I'll go in to the inside. But before I do so, I'll go over to Cal or whomever's around, and I'll say, I have control of the surrounding area. If we need to change the winds or the weather, I can do so. But it takes anywhere from 10 minutes to a half an hour, so keep that in mind. If we need to obscure ourselves with fog or slow down, let me know.
Understood.
All right.
I will then go in and make my way to the kitchen after I smell the food, probably.
Okay. So, after the first hour is when you really would smell the food being complete. Manako, you create roll me a performance check. A 29. Very nice. You make a glorious meal, but you use a lot of the food and make a feast. There's different types of fish. You make very Shiveren-like meals as well as you're given the same quality seafood. Man, you like Shiveren seafood better, but it's still high quality seafood that has been stocked in here. Making all types of strange lobster-like creatures, crab-like creatures, fish creatures, and all the sort, some raw, some cooked, and make a beautiful spread, for everyone. Still in the kitchen area, it's this beautiful meal. What would you?
She definitely had the assistance of several unseen servants.
Okay.
Managing a meal this size, and she's kind of juggling magical cooking while hands-on with some things. And by the time it's all complete, she has it laid out, and she starts conducting the servants to lay it out in the dining area, using brain chat to just cheerfully sing to everyone. Dinner is ready.
Coming.
Okay.
And on her way down to the eating area, she will take the time to knock on the doors where the Unity Knights were at, and tell them that I know you have rations and your own supplies, but I thought we could reward you for doing such hard work against the Lich, and I prepared a delicious spread. Please join us in the living quarters, or in the eating quarters.
As you knock on each of the doors and talk with the Unity Knights, they all say, thank you, several of them, thank you, and begin to gather their things. And they're dressed down now. They're not in their full plated armor as they were before. This is the first time you see them in non-armored clothes, even when they were sleeping in the domes and the temples. But they come out and slowly start to make their way to the dining area where your unseen servants have been plating and seating. And it's large enough for everyone to sit.
I invited everyone for a meal in the...
Thank you, Miss Monaco. I appreciate your services. You spoil us. We only need rations, but no one will turn down a hot meal. I'm sure my men and women will be proud. As were you. You showed great magical prowess. I am impressed. And also thank the gods. I thought I was a goner there, but an angel came down. Saved me. Thank you, Miss Monaco, for saving me.
Oh, eating my food is all the thanks I need from you. Come on.
I'm sure it was the will of the gods to bring you in my path, he says, chuckling a little bit nervously. I'm going to head to the dining room. And he just storms, walks past you. But the rest of you hear the call of Monaco. Horatio, are you still keeping lookout, or are you going in to eat?
I would still keep lookout.
Alrighty. What about you, Cal?
My stomach grumbles, and I hear it audibly doing so as I smell this delicious food coming up from below deck as I look out onto the sea and cannot leave my post. as we would for sure go into the rocks if I left right now, because we're still in the shallows.
Mm-hmm.
Cal? Horatio?
Oh, I'm actually keeping lookout at the moment, Monaco.
Oh, of course.
I'll come eat soon.
Let me bring something up to your post.
Oh, that would be great.
Can I help?
Yeah.
Here, let me help you. I'll take one of the other prepackaged meals.
You seemed so ill earlier. I didn't know if I could ask for your help.
I was very sick before, for sure. Yeah, I'm feeling better now. That Cal's back at the helm. Choppy waters make me feel queasy.
He certainly seems to fit in with this place. I don't know what it is. I guess I do. But yeah, and she'll gather up a nice bowl of soup and skirt away with King upstairs to the top deck.
Yeah, I'll carry the other meal so you don't have to try and juggle two.
Okay. So you go ahead and King and Monaco, you gather food for your allies who are staying watch and walk down the stairs and come back up with bowls of a little bit of some sushi or some raw fish and with a little bit of other fish, hot meals, and even like a little stew, and carry a little tray of these things, placing it next to both towards the aft where Cal is and towards the fore where Horatio is. And the two of you smell the delicious scent of Monaco's cooking as you're concentrating on the sea ahead of you.
Oh, this is amazing, Monaco. Thank you.
Thank you, Monaco.
You're in two separate places, so it's one of us.
Yeah,
going to each of
who
you.
goes to
Yeah, so who went where?
I was gonna talk to Horatio because Zeki already claimed Monaco.
Okay. Thank you, King.
You're welcome. It smells so good. I took a bite before. I couldn't resist. You're gonna love it.
You took a bite of mine?
No. I mean, from my plate. My plate. Let me know if you want more. I'll bring some for you. I'll put the tray down next to you.
So, yeah, thank you. And I'll start eating.
Oh, before I go, I told Cal, but you should know too. I can change the weather, so if you spot something and we need to obscure ourselves more so than with our natural protection, if you deem it necessary, let me know. I can slow the winds or even, do what needs to help us. So just call if you need it, but keep in mind it takes anywhere from 10 minutes to a half an hour to take effect.
All right. Thank you. I'll keep that in mind.
All right.
Duran, over brain chat. Duran, are you hungry?
So this whole time, Duran is also on the top of the ship near the stern, practicing with his blade, kind of visualizing Hiei from when he last met and fought him, preparing for fighting him in person.
The magnetic blade?
Yes.
Okay. So are you doing this in your room or are you out?
He's near the stern on the top of the ship in case something happens, as he heard the possibility of sea monster.
So during your going back and forth, you would have seen just Duran there. It's a big deck, so Duran is in another side of it. You notice him training over, hearing the grunts and the sounds of his training happening. And you both would have noticed that he was there. Actually, all of you, technically.
Cal, do you think we should leave him alone, or?
I'm sure he's working out his own strategy for the next battle. He definitely needs to eat, though, so I'm surprised he didn't go down at your first call.
I'm gonna go talk to him. Yeah.
Good idea.
And she'll run over to take speed walk to where Duran is practicing.
All right. You walk on over down the steps towards the deck of the ship, the middle of the ship. Going on to the starboard side, you see Duran practicing in a corner. What are you doing to practice, Duran? Are you meditating or are you doing slashes?
He's kind of making slashes and practicing. You hear him kind of grunting and swinging his blade in the air, not with full force, but with a kind of focus and in slow motions as preparing for a kill.
Okay.
There's food downstairs, or I could bring you something, Duran, if you wanted to eat.
Is that what you've been doing down there? Making food, when we should have been making preparations?
Food is preparations. I'm just trying to help out, Duran. Did you want some or not?
Alright. And then over their conversation, the sound of gurgling and rumbling can be heard coming from his stomach. I am fine. I'll have some of your food.
Do you want to join the Uni Knights downstairs? Maybe getting to know them might help you fight alongside them better.
Fine. But don't think I trust you because of this.
Yeah. I guess I deserve that a little. A lot. Well, hopefully I can earn your trust back, Duran. I intend to show all of you that I'm not what I did.
Don't waste your time trying to earn my trust back. Spend your time focusing on using that same magic used on our friends, on our enemies.
I suppose.
Duran's gonna start walking. He's gonna put his blade on his back and start walking down towards the common area where all the food be at.
All right.
Is that blade you got from, after we traveled through, that?
He stops for a moment. Monaco, you knew Hiei better than anyone here.
Yeah, I should think so.
Are you prepared the moment we see him?
She looks a little stunned. Last time I saw him, I froze up. I won't make the same mistake again. I'll be ready this time.
Good. Because of what I saw, Hiei will be ready for us. And he will not hesitate to strike any of us down. If you are prepared to hesitate, then be prepared to die. I do not know what kind of man he was when you knew him, but the man I met in my vision was a monster.
He had some good in him. But whatever ambitions he had were twisted. I still think Doramo got to him. That somewhere in there, the Hiei that I knew is still there.
There is nothing left in that man but bloodlust. What I met there, it almost slayed me and Kai. Together, we were not enough. So if you hesitate, it will cost us all.
I'm not losing anyone else. When it comes down to it, I'll do it. I'll kill Hiei if I have to. Which, I guess I will.
Alrighty. So, Duran, you make your way down there. Monaco, you staying up there lamenting on the words of advice that Duran has just given you. Is there anything you wish to do? Or do you head back downstairs as well?
She will follow after him. I imagine this conversation was somewhat as they're both going down. Okay. Take her seat with the rest of those who are not at their posts. Okay. Hoping that King will be there too.
All right. King, were you heading down there as well? Or were you staying up with Horatio, discussing something with Horatio?
Yeah, so I will have stood behind like a barrel or something and like heard that conversation, but didn't like butt in, and then I will be like standing near the door that like leads back down into the hull of the ship, and I'll when I see her coming, I'll open the door and be like, "Oh, you ready to go?"
Yeah. Duran's gonna be eating with us, which is good.
Oh, great.
All right.
Well,
so then all of you head down together. It is a very awkward walk down the stairs between King and Duran and Monaco, but nevertheless you all make it to the dining area, which is packed already with people eating. Which is packed already with the Unity Knights, all of them with food in front of their plates, and none of them eating. As they look on over to you, Julian, sitting at one of the left side of the table, goes, "Look, I see you've returned. Everyone, now that they've returned, you can now commence your eating." And they go, "Huh!" And they all just begin eating in unison. Now that you've arrived.
Do they seem like they're enjoying it?
They do seem like they're enjoying it. Very much so. You hear a lot of and audible sounds of enjoyment. Julian turns. "Oh, I'm sorry. Will be Master Horatio and will Mr. Horatio and Mr. Cal be joining us?"
They're busy. It's so good to see people enjoying my cooking again.
Well,
come on.
It's one of the finest meals I've had. Good job, Miss Monaco. And the rest of you, the three of you, find your seats and begin eating, and it is delicious indeed. So, while you continue to eat, Horatio, as you munch on to actually, both Horatio and Cal, because regardless, you'll have to be looking, Cal, as you are navigating the ship. Horatio, roll me a perception check, and as well as you, Cal, in hour 2 of your journey.
That is a natural 20 for a 27 on my perception check.
I got a 9.
Nice.
Okay. So, as the ship moves at a very quick rate across the sapphire shore as it glimmers underneath the hull of the ice-crowned ship. Horatio, you look down during the second hour. You don't see anything. Everything looks clear. You look left and right. So far, doesn't look like there's anything in your path. Cal, with your natural 27, you begin steering the ship. You think you see a ripple in the ocean off into the distance. And then another. And then another. As the rippling seems to get closer, it's almost like the rippling then turns into a parting of the ocean, as it looks like a shadow of something massive is heading towards your direction. And then another shadow. And then another shadow.
Horatio, there's something coming!
What? And when he says that, I start... Where?
Out ahead of us. See the ripples on the water. It's a dark shape. I brain chat the group. Everyone top deck now.
Okay.
We'll run up out hearing that. We finished eating at that point, right?
You're in mid-eating right now.
I start looking for the ripples in the water and the shadows like Cal instructed.
So you make out a total of 13 ripples of black shadows heading in your direction. And whatever it is, they look huge. I would say with your 27, you could tell they have like a shark-like, megalodonish, well, not maybe that big, but extremely large shark-like shape to them, as it's like a pack of these. There's no fins sticking out, but you can see the movement of the water, the ripples that they create. And you would not have been, it's so subtle though, that you wouldn't have been able to do it unless you rolled a natural to as high as you did. But it's coming, and you've noticed it. It looks like it's coming towards your starboard of your ship, heading, from like the front starboard, in that direction.
Is everybody on the top of the deck right now?
I don't know. Do you guys hear this ping from Cal?
Oh, we'll run up there, yeah.
Duran even he drops his bowl and starts running, not caring about the food spilling in the process.
Julian turns and says, "What is something the matter?"
There's something up there.
Cal called. Let's go.
They stop eating. They all stop eating, get up, and start to grab a few things they had on their sides and begin to run up. Eventually, as they're getting closer, and now you can notice it, Horatio, you see that they're making their way, but you're going really fast because of King's ability. So, although they're getting closer, you get the fact if you weren't going as fast as you were, they probably would have caught up by now, but they're still a little bit of ways. Probably about 60 to 70 feet off in the distance, but closing in. And like about every few seconds, about 5 feet.
And they are... Like, are we gonna run into them, or are they coming from the sides?
They're coming to you. They're trying to collide. It looks like they're, at the speed they're going, it looks like they're trying to collide into you.
Ooh, they're trying to collide into us. Do I remember if this boat has any ramming capabilities or any defense against it?
You know that the ship just has a defense, as in like the orb that circles it that has been turned on. I should have mentioned when you guys first went off, so you're protected by a shield. It also has the weapons that are on the side that both Cal and Duran had went into, the magical laser guns, but ramming capabilities. I mean, there was nothing in the manual about that. No.
Okay, but we do have our defenses up.
Yeah. In terms of what it is, all Cal can see is just a very large shark-like shape, and nothing more. You just happen to notice it. Looks like they're trying to sneak their way up, but you notice them.
Quick, someone get on the starboard side guns.
Horatio rushes over to those guns, actually.
Okay.
I got them. Someone get the other side.
DM, is there a way that I can kind of subtly steer the ship without giving my hand away, that I'm trying to circle them a little bit from where they're coming from, so that way our starboard side is in the best position to start firing at them?
Sure. So you're trying to
if that makes sense? Yeah. So I see them coming, and I see the path that I'm on, and I kind of want to belly out, so that way our starboard side is more...
Sure. I mean, there's no way to hide that you're doing that, but you can.
Yeah, I would just do it like as like a bigger sweeping motion than like a tight like turn that would really indicate that
you're making a wide turn.
Going on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Roll me another survival check.
Oh, it's a 7. That's not good.
Okay.
Not good at all.
And you're not trained in water vehicles or anything like that, right?
As far as I know, I do not have nautical abilities.
Okay. So you go ahead and turn the ship. Unfortunately, you turn it as you see the creatures are coming, but you turn a little bit too tight as you're anxious in doing so. And the ship makes a tight kind of turn that it's so tight that everyone on the ship, you feel the momentum and almost get thrusted back. I need everyone on the ship to make dexterity saving throws.
Do I have to do it?
You don't have to do it because you jumped into the.
Okay, cool.
Seated.
Make sure you add your 4 while I still have it.
If you were around Cal.
Yeah.
Like the Unity Knights are making their way up. So.
Are the people who are under deck who are still? Are we still in the process of getting to the top?
You guys got to the top at this point.
Okay.
Because Cal wouldn't have readied it until someone got into the thing, and then everyone made their way on deck. So, but the Unity Knights are still making their way up, so they won't have the +4. All right. So that is a 17 for Monaco, 18 for King, 25 for Cal, and 17 for Duran. So all of you are able to brace yourself and are not thrusted around, bashed onto the sides of the ship, as it makes a sharp turn. Now these 13 shadows are clear view, and they're making their way directly towards the ship. Our position where you can just fire with the cannons on the starboard side as they're now coming right ahead of you, but you're not as positioned as well as you wanted to keep yourself. Now they can kind of just make their way directly towards the ship. But the ship is still moving, though. Though the ship is still moving, the winds are blowing against the ship because now you've turned. So you're not going nearly as fast as you were before.
Can I see them in the gun that I'm currently on?
Yes, you can see them there.
Are they within range for a shot?
Yes, they are within range for a shot.
All right, then I'm going to take a shot.
All right. Roll me a dexterity check.
16.
16, okay.
This is a dex check with my modifier, by the way, which is a +2.
Yes.
Okay.
As you're aiming. All right. 16, you go ahead and fire the blast out as you all hear whoop, 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 boom, as this blast of energy shoots out from the cannons. When it does, it makes impact on one of the 13 creatures as you hear an audible popping out of the water seems to be this demonic shark-like creature with its brain hanging on the outside of its body, pulsating. Its bones can be seen that's intertwined with its flesh. It's warped and decrepit as there is this dripping, this green ooze out of its fangs, and this black ichor comes out of it when you blast it. It falls down, covering the entire water with this black ooze as the other 12 are starting to make their way over.
Monaco will conjure a wall of fire along the edge of the boat, such that if they were to try to climb up or something, they would have to go through it. It's about 60 feet long and 20 feet high and 1 foot thick. Does that describe an adequate volume of wallage she could do?
So you're doing it in between them and the ship?
Yeah, kind of on the side of the ship, so that if they were to come close, they get, they would have to go through it.
Oh, you're doing it on the ship, so it's a wall that's on the ship itself.
Yeah.
Does it burn anything?
No.
It would only burn, if it's turned towards the outside of the ship, it won't burn the ship because the back of the wall doesn't have any.
It has a direction where it kind of arcs, and in that direction is where the fire kind of arcs off. So she can angle it in a fashion where,
So just to make sure that
doesn't set the place on
just
fire.
to make sure that I understand, you want to put it against the ship, the back of the wall against the ship, so that the fire is basically pointing out, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that when they get to the ship, they have to go through the wall of fire, which is pointing towards them.
Okay. All right. So they are still making the way. The ice crown, although they're making now, the ice crown is not going as fast as it used to. As Monako, you cast this wall of fire, just engulfs completely, and you all feel the heat coming from the side of the ship as it blankets that area. They have not made it. So you say in a 60 feet long.
Yeah.
So they're under the water. So if they get up towards that direction, then
they would have to get out of the water and come around here.
Yeah. But the shadows aren't as easy to see now that the flames are blocking it, but they are making their way faster now that they've been noticed towards the ship. And like I said, the ship isn't moving as fast. So now the ship is now going towards the sea instead of shimmer drift, and in that direction, sailing about half speed as it was before, as these creatures are now closing in. Is there anything else you wish to do as they slowly make their way there?
I mean,
Duran, are you gonna fire? Do you remember? There's a second cannon, right?
Yeah, there's a second cannon.
Yeah, but it's on the opposite side. It doesn't shoot. It doesn't shoot behind itself either. It shoots like it's only got like
it would only fire
90 degree arc range. It's not. It can't shoot behind itself.
Okay, I did not realize that. Okay.
I would wait until I can take another shot, DM.
Okay.
How far away are they?
They're about 50 feet away at this point.
Okay, if they're 50 feet away, I can start... Actually, I could have started throwing guiding bolts when they're 120. Yeah, I'll try and, hit them when they're, within 100 feet and as they're coming.
Okay, fair enough. Just go ahead and... There's no target. Just go ahead and roll an attack.
Sure. 17.
17 does hit. Go ahead and roll damage on your guiding bolt.
13, and then also now it has a shimmery glow emanating around it, and the next attack against it gives advantage, or gets to roll at advantage.
Okay, so you go ahead and strike the other one. This doesn't quite kill the creature like the cannon did, but it does greatly injure as you hear the sound of the screams of the shark-like demonic creature as it pops up out of the water, being hit from the guiding bolt, taking damage from the flames when it comes out. How much damage does it take?
It will take 68 fire damage because it is being cast at 5th level.
All right, go ahead and roll that 68.
That would be 25 damage.
25 damage. As it pops up from being hit by the guiding bolt, one of the now 12 burns up into cinders as its body dissipates, disappearing like the first one, after creating this black ichor like puddle within almost like oil within the water, before dissipating after some time, returning to its demonic realm. But the other 11 are quickly making their way towards the ship, and they don't seem to be slowing down. But so everybody else can do probably about one thing before they close in.
Duran is going to get his hand that has the ring of spell storing. He's going to kind of aim his hand towards a direction, readying one Monaco's fireball for when anything comes out of the water and towards them.
Okay, so you're readying an action to shoot a fireball out of the ring onto the creatures if they become visible or within your range. Anyone else doing anything?
When it appears, I will conjure I'm readying a spell.
Well, you already shot the guiding bolt. So anyone who didn't do anything yet.
I thought you said another thing. Okay, sorry, my mistake.
I shot the cannon, so I don't think I have another turn.
Actually, no, you're right. You guys saw it early, so yes, everyone, you can do one more thing again. So you can hold your action if you want to do something, and you can fire another shot, Horatio.
Okay, I would fire another shot.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a dexterity check. And what are you holding?
Spiritual weapon. So when it comes within 60 feet of me, I will conjure a spectral caliburn to spear this creature.
I would like
at a higher level.
My El Rabu bonus to add a D8 to that dexterity check.
I'll go right ahead.
And that adds... I don't think it's enough. It makes it a 13.
13 does not hit. You another blast into the water. They skirt around. They swim past it, going into a different formation as it blasts and hits nothing but the water itself. As the rest of the 11 that are here start to swim up and get even closer, not slowing down. Cal, is anything you want to do, or you want to maneuver the ship? You still have maneuvering ability if you want to roll another survival check. To put it
yeah, I will. Since he's taken that shot and it missed, and since they're so close, is there a way that I can turn the ship and try to essentially run one or two over?
Well, you're not sure how deep they are. Well, though, they're kind of deep. But you can, if you want to try to like ram or like get above one of them, you totally can do that if you want.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and roll me a survival check.
Oh no! That is a natural 1.
At least it wasn't on your gun.
All right.
That's true.
So you go ahead and turn the ship. Once again, now you were perpendicular to them. Well, actually, they were coming. So you turn. So now you turn the ship and you're heading towards them again. This time the ship really lurches. Actually, you're not going that fast anymore because of the wind. So the ship does turn sharp. The rest of you are able to hold your balance in there. At this point, the rest of you knights have made it to the top of the ship. And you get directly in front of the pathway of the creatures that are coming. It looks like you're about to run into them. They don't seem to slow down as the black shadows just get a little bit smaller. They go a little bit deeper into it. When you do, you hear a sudden and feel the impact of these demonic creatures slamming their bodies against the ice crown. At this point, the entirety of the ship starts to shake and shudder as you see the crystallized fractals of the outward shell that is the barrier start to shimmer around, taking hits left and right, causing some movement onto the ship. And I need everyone once again to roll dexterity saving throws. So we have Manako with a 16, Cal with a 23, King with a 6, and Duran with a 20. So King, you're the only one who fails, who you get knocked prone, fall over as you tumble back into the deck of the ship, as these creatures bombard the ship, left and right.
Do I fall overboard?
No, you fall onto the deck.
Oh. I was going to say, because I'll just sprout my wings, but... okay.
But you fall tumbling down to the ground, and...
I was also holding my spell, so do I get to cast that, like, as they're crashing in, or no?
If you want to.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay, so you go ahead.
Okay, so as I fall over, I let my spell go.
Okay, as you fall over, you release the spell, creating the spectral caliburn floating onto the deck, as you're just bombarded left and right by these creatures. Are you having caliburn attack, like, underwater?
Yeah, it's a spectral weapon, so as long as I could see it, I'll conjure it with next to them to spear into it.
Okay. I thought you were just summoning it. So you can't see them because they're under, because the way Cal did it, he just went over them, so they're not just bashing the ship from underneath the water. So you would have to like go into water to see them. I thought you were just summoning it just to summon it, so I have it ready if they jumped on.
Well, yeah, I'll do that too. Okay, so yeah, I won't waste it because I'll have it ready and active. So. I think that I'm going to be able to see them, and they dive under, and I conjure it as they crash into the ship, and I fall over. So at least it's in there, around their space. So next time I can attack them when I see them.
Okay. So the Unity Knights have made it onto the deck, and they look around. They all fall over, unfortunately, as they go, oh! Except for Julian, who remains standing, is able to keep himself, and he goes, oh, we're under attack. They're attacking the ship. And at that moment, we will take a break and return with you all rolling initiative.